All right.
Excellent. After
We did it.
no more delay, we did it. So I am
You did it. I sat here and just stared at you.
Well, I am finally with a capital F here talking again with Lilith Czar. It has been way too long. I have been meaning to have a follow-up with you for what feels like ages. We're slowly crawling out of this pandemic, and I feel like for a lot of people in every sort of profession, the pandemic really helped people reprioritize and shift.
Oh yeah.
How were you able to shift over the past couple of years?
Well, I had been on tour and had already released music with my new record label, Sumerian, at the time, and which was great. And but there was something that I noticed having, in the beginning stages of writing the album and recording songs and then going on tour. I had noticed a massive just shift in myself as an artist and both personally. But it wasn't something that I could really put my finger on yet. And I think that's because I was so busy and it was just like go all the time. And so in 2020, when I was still writing the album, everything stopped. And I was already like really, really heavily in this like very creative space. And the record was like, I don't know, 3/4, not even like half done, I would say. It was like half done. And I just thought to myself, I cannot believe this is happening. I find like, and it's so selfish. It's not happening to me. It's happening to everybody. But we're selfish creatures. So yes, I thought like, why is this happening to me? And so, I had finally, found this new amazing rock record label that was, all about me writing and recording the music that I've always wanted to. And after about a month or two of quarantine, having that time to just sit and reflect and think about, how I want to proceed when this is all said and done. Like, I think a lot of us thought about that. Like, what am I going to do after this is all done? What do I really want to do? And that's when the kind of light bulb went off, and I thought to myself, I want to kind of take this record that I've already started with these songs that I'm talking about things I've never talked about. It's a genre of music that I've been trying to break into for years now, and I want to completely convey this message and who I actually am, as artistically as I possibly can. And so there's like a weird like glowy. Oh, it's I'm cheating. I have a ring light. Can't have bad lighting, ladies. So that's when I decided, I wanted to create this persona and this character to help tell the story of, kind of what I've experienced in my life and experienced as an artist. And that's, that's how it all began. Once I decided I wanted to change my name and completely, rebrand, so to speak, that's when I started, reading a lot and kind of going down the rabbit hole of my life and what I symbolize and what I stand for and what I want fans to get from me as a person and from my music. And it dawned on me one day that this goddess, this hell goddess, character, Lilith, was somebody that I have always really connected with. And so it just kind of made sense. And, kind of the rest is history. But the beginning of it was really fun. We got to create these really cool visualizers to help tell this ending of one life and the beginning of another. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's been the best year and a half of my, music career for sure.
That's amazing. And it's
Yeah.
no short coincidence that a long, long time ago, Juliet Simms stood on the voice stage and sang It's a Man's World. And then
Right.
Lilith Czar rose and sings King. And
Yeah.
like I was saying to you off camera before we got started, when I first heard the first couple of notes, the very first words out of my mouth were finally. How does it feel like a finally for you though?
Um, it's liberating. It's freeing, to be able to write what you want to write and say what you want to say is very therapeutic. Um, it, it's empowering. That's probably the best way that I can, you know, get across how the feeling, feels. Is it's a how the feel I have all the feels. Uh, it's incredibly empowering.
And you worked with some incredible folks in the music world. You worked with Scott Stevens. What was it like to collaborate with him?
I've known Scott for a while, actually. Going back to The Voice, I worked with him right after my season ended, and I only worked with him one time. It was like in 2012, but I remember my session with him being one of my favorite um co-writes and studio sessions that I've ever had. We just instantly, as people and artists, just clicked. I mean, the amount of laughing and silliness, but also taking what we were doing seriously and like feeling incredibly comfortable with him. And him, you know, really pushing me to the limit of my vocal ability rather than like other producers in the past have tried to simmer me down, kind of, you know, clean it up, so to speak, clean up the vocals, clean up the rasp, not much character. And he wasn't like that. And so that stuck with me for a while. And a couple, years kind of passed. And when I came into this new relationship with Sumerian, um, they asked me like, well, we should start kind of interviewing producers and seeing who you want to work with. And I was like, I think I know who I want to work with. And so we just emailed Scott to be like, hey, what are you doing? Are you available right now to work? And he immediately responded back, and I ended up meeting him like 2 days later, and it was an instant, instant friendship. And I remember the first day I was in the studio with him for we were gonna write, we were gonna sit down, we were gonna write, we were gonna see, what we could come up with. He said to me, "You haven't arrived yet." And I was like, "What are you talking about, fucker? I've been here
You've
for
been here
years.
for ages.
I've been doing this shit forever." And he's like, "You haven't arrived yet." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, we need to find who you are as an artist, what your sound is. We need to hatch you because that hasn't happened yet for you. And it's like so just like it's like he's a wizard. How did you know? Working what he did, he fucking really did it. And I can't thank him enough for that. Anyways, so still, working with him has just been, we went to Nashville, LA, back to Nashville. I mean, we spent like 2+ years writing this album, and it's been my favorite recording experience of my life. And still, we text every other day. He's so freaking supportive. If it were completely up to me, and kind of is, I'll be working with him again for the next record.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
yeah.
You mentioned earlier about the visuals and how important they were in sort of telling this story. I think you've always been a very visual person, a fashion sense as well. How much were your own sense of fashion and visuals kind of thought out and sort of planned along with this?
So, you know, because we had all this time during quarantine, I had ample time to really um, go over, like, you know, what we wanted the setup to look like. Okay, we're gonna take a big, beautiful Victorian style table, and we'll put like chains and pearls and lots of candles and like having that kind of storyboard in place. I was like able to envision like what am I wearing in that setup. I style all of my shoots, all of my music videos.
That doesn't
So
surprise me for a second.
saves a lot of money, I'll tell you that. Stylists are not cheap. And then you get to keep the clothes. So you know, because I had all this, an abundance of time, I really got to dive into the craft of the look and the clothes and the makeup and everything more than I've ever gotten to. You know, most of the time, when you're going to do a photo shoot or a music video, you kind of just show up the day of, and you try things on, and they're like, all right, cool, that looks good on camera. All right, go. It wasn't like that. It was like we had like printed pictures of what we want the setups to look like, so we could go through my closet, and I was like, well, this looks really great with this, and you know, really take the time to put everything together. And so yeah, that's what we did.
I watched through all your videos again to really get a sense of you know, kind of that story and that plot. Why in 2022? And I have my own answers to my question, but why make music videos in 2021 and 2022?
I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. It's like, you know, if you just make a 60-second video and put it on Reels, you're gonna get the views you want. I mean, it's just, unless like you're like fucking huge and like don't have to worry about that. But it's like, for me, I mean, in all actuality, the reason you make music videos in 2022 is you want to service the song, and you want to give your fans something visual that they can, you know, better comprehend the song and get the story behind it, and you know, to show the art behind what you created that they're listening to.
And you mentioned Reels, and there's like so much social media that didn't exist 10, 15, 20. God, that makes us both sound older than we are.
And back in my day,
it was a microphone and a stage, and that was it. Is there a focus, or is there a, for lack of a better term, like schedule as far as social media? Like, I have to make sure I put out music videos on YouTube, and I have to make sure I record some reels and maybe something on TikTok. Is there like a purposeful, or is it more of just like when you feel like it?
So for the first, you know, since the birth essentially of Lilith, to like, I want to say, oh no, it's still going on. Never mind. Here's the thing. When you put out a record, you know, you want to push it. You want to shove it in people's faces. You want to make sure that you're because there's so much content, and there's so much shit flying at you all day long. You got to kind of keep reminding people that you exist. And so it's smart. And we did do this for the better part of last year, where I did have a social media schedule. I had, you know, because I have this incredible management team that I collaborated with on this whole entire project, and who helped me throughout the entire thing. I don't know what the hell I would do without them. They, you know, we had my social media manager over there was really, really great with, but you know, helping me come up with content that was still authentic, you know, and still something that I would have wanted to put out anyways. It's just nice to have it, you know, written out, and like, you should post this then, and this swipe up, and a reel here, and maybe some BTS stuff. And you know, organizing all of that was really great, because in the past it was kind of like I was just like, oh, guess I'll post a selfie today. Do you guys want to see a video of my kitchen? Like, you know, so it's nice to have that. And but yeah, I mean, I mix in within the schedule. I mix in my own whenever I want. You know, like there's no rules really. Like I'm not like stopping myself from because it's not on the schedule. You know, so it's a little bit of scheduling and a little bit of whatever the fuck I want.
Nice. Well, and you mentioned that Lilith Czar is very liberated. And speaking of that liberation, Tuesday was International Women's Day, so I feel like it's a perfect time to talk. I mean, every day should be International Women's Day, but I'll get on that.
Yeah,
that soapbox a different day. Tell me a little bit about the recent tour that you did with Hailstorm and Evanescence, because that makes total sense. I was like, wow.
Oh my gosh, it was a dream come true. When I found out that I got the tour, I shit my pants. Then I cleaned myself off. And yeah, it was just like the greatest moment ever. But then, you know, getting to hang out with Amy and Lizzie and just kind of chat and talk, and like it was very natural. There was no like, holy shit, I'm hanging out with Amy Lee. It was like she's fucking, like, it was just like, holy shit, this chick is rad. Like, we just great conversations, really good tips. And then just watching them every night was like, I can't, they are not of this earth. They are not.
Neither are you. Neither are you.
Stop. No, just stop. No, very sweet. Thank you. I can't take compliments. I'm blushing. So anyways, the point is that watching them every night was very inspiring and very educating. I actually went into the tour with vocal nodules, which was very scary and very upsetting. But I kept it to myself. I was like, you're strong. You can get through this. You can and it's very, when you have vocal nodules, you should not sing on them.
That's why I made that face. I was like,
yeah, really bad. So, but watching them and then, having them give me like their advice and stuff, was life-changing. Throughout the tour, mixed in with like, I've been doing the main instigator of my vocal nodules is actually my speaking voice. So I've been taking speech therapy lessons, which is helping a lot. But since that tour, through the tour up to now, the vocal nodules have disappeared. So going on that tour was very magical, very magical. And I just love those two so much. Greatest experience of my life.
Trust me, I'm super pissed that I missed that, but there's always another tour.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe we'll get back together.
Gosh,
maybe the band will get back together.
Well, there's a song I would love to sit in the back room and listen to as well. But yeah, speaking of other tours, you've got the Trinity of Terror tour coming up, which also sounds like a dream come true in a completely different way.
So
Tell me
awesome.
a bit about that.
So awesome. I think these three bands are, they're kind of like, they're so artistic. They're like the Eltons and the Bowies of the, goth active rock scene. They're, so much theatrics and creativity and makeup, which I love. And their music stands the test. It's fucking awesome. All three of them. And it's also great that I'm going to get to hang out with my, my best friend and my soulmate every day on tour. It's a dream.
That's amazing. Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White, and some other band that I think I've spoken to before, Black Veil Brides, right?
Black Veil Brides, yes. I thought they were called Black Veil Grooms. Just kidding.
Oh my goodness. And like, you're not even done there. Like, you still have other tour plans. 3 Days Grace?
Yes, which is fucking so awesome. Love that band. I've always loved them. So that's gonna be really fun. And then so many festivals. So many festivals. I can't even name all of them. I know a bunch of them are opening for Godsmack and a bunch of other really incredible bands. And then I'm doing Welcome to Rockville and Louder Than Life and MM Barbecue, something like that. Cut this part out.
She's gonna make me do editing? No,
It's fine.
we're just gonna chalk it up to way too many things on the docket, but that's an amazing thing to have.
Yeah.
How do you feel about playing live in 2022? And I don't know why I can't say that word.
Because we've never been here before. Okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. So
Easier said than done.
I know. Trust me, I'm marble mouth all the time, especially with the new way that I have to talk, which is like, let me just explain it to you really quickly. The proper technique for me to speak is to envision a ball in the back of my throat, which can sound very dirty. But yeah, I have to envision like a small golf ball in the back of my throat. So it's left me kind of being somewhat of a very awkward speaker in certain situations. I'm getting better at it because I've been like really practicing. But yeah, I am constantly saying things incorrectly because I have to speak differently than what I'm naturally used to. But what the question that you had was, what's it like playing in 2022?
Yeah, does it feel reminiscent of the before times, or is it something completely new?
It's so different, dude. Hang on, my chair is so high. Hang on. Here we go. Wait, no, that's too low. Sorry, technical difficulties. There we go. It's weird. You can't show your face a lot. Well, I mean, on the Evanescence tour, and they were so smart to do this, it was really, really, really strict. Like we couldn't have anybody backstage, like no friends, no family, no managers, no labels, nobody, which was really smart. And like mask at all times backstage. You can't really you can't mingle with the fan, you can't really like hug fans and get pictures and stuff like that. So that's, that's hard. And yeah, kind of is kind of just I'm here to perform and that's all I can do for you, which kind of, we're working around it. We're thinking of ways to still have like really great engagement with the audience and people who come. But it's like, oh God, like I'm a stage jumper. I'm so used to last song jumping off the stage and going to the barricade, and it feels very, I don't know, like I'm leaving the stage with my pants down or something. It's like weird. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm showing you my ass. It is what it is.
Well, to shift gears, because I don't know how I follow up from that. You mentioned that, if you had your way, and you do have your way, you'd like to work with Scott Stevens. Again, does that mean that you are working on new music now, or do you feel like that will come, in due time?
Right. So I'm a prolific writer. I'm writing just because I write all the time. So I'm saving up, I'm kind of building the archive, so to speak, because it's nice to go into albums with stuff. You could be like, all right, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And not to mention, Scott and I wrote so many songs that didn't go on this album that are great fucking songs. And like, there was a few times where we would be like, well, next record, when we were putting all the songs together for the album, we were like, this is great. It's got to be worked on a little bit more, next record. And Scott and I have had conversations of like, we got to start writing for the next record here really soon. But without giving like too much hope, There is the possibility right now of I don't know if
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
yeah, whatever, fucking who cares. You guys there might be some just something to add to what has already been released. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. Sooner rather than later. I like those hints. I like those hints. So how do you craft your set list for the tours that you're doing versus the festivals that you have coming up, which tend to be faster and
So
30
yeah,
to
no,
45 are done.
right. Well, headlining shows, we pretty much do the whole record. And I try to, start with something very energetic, come off of that with something just as energetic. I like to give you a nice emotional ride, I guess, during our sets with the Trinity of Terror tour. It's this is a certain crowd, this is a crowd that loves hard rock and metal, and so it's about sticking to, but also these bands also have so much depth. They have ballads, they have raw heart-wrenching songs as well, so I'm able to stick a ballad into my set. But it's about trying to gauge and predict what people are going to want to hear, but also how you want people to perceive you, and hopefully walk away wanting to listen to your music. So that's kind of how I start to dictate what should go where, and the sequence of things.
Very nice. So I think we've got enough of a tease, and it sounds like we have a good idea of what your 2022 will sound like. So I'm very excited. Going to catch at least one of these tours sometime this year. Stay tuned for much more from Lilith Czar. I'm so excited. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So good to see you, babe.
I'm so glad we're finally able to catch up.